So this video is going to be a bit of a rant. And if you don't know who I am, I'm RezenatorZen. And I'm going to rant about a few fucking things. And the first thing is that I honestly think technology has had a personal effect on me, and not necessarily for the better. Because as a teenager, I read a fair amount. You know, I read enough to where I basically got a certificate from my school as part of, like, the really heavy reader group, or whatever the fuck it was called. And I loved reading. And I still love reading, but technology has kind of encroached upon that, because, you know, I had a PS2 in high school, but I didn't play it as much as I play my PS4, and there weren't as many uses for a PS2 back in the day. You know, you could play games, watch DVDs, but you know, even at Xbox 360, you could watch YouTube videos. And you know, you could have digital games that you bought and had on your system. You didn't need a physical disc. And the PS4, same kind of thing. You know, even more so, because there are all these streaming services. You know, Netflix and Tubi and Amazon Prime Video and all these other things that basically pull my attention away from reading books. And I'm pretty sure it's true for most other people who have, you know, the same kind of fractured attention that I do. And, you know, also, you know, another thing, I had a flip phone for the majority of, you know, from high school into my, like, 20s. I had a flip phone. I didn't have a smartphone. One, because they weren't really common, and they were expensive, and I didn't necessarily know I needed one or wanted one. But then, you know, when I got my Samsung, I think my first smart cell phone was one of the ones where you slid out, you know, it was basically like a Sidekick, but a smartphone version of it. And then after that, I think I got a Samsung Galaxy S3, or S5, maybe? I think it was an S5. And I loved that. It was, you know, just like, it was super powerful, and it was good, but it was bad. And, you know, you can play games on your phone, you can watch stuff on YouTube, you can watch Netflix, you can watch Amazon Prime stuff. You know, there are podcasts that take time away from things. You know, just the times they have changed, and in some ways they've changed for the good. For some instances, they've actually changed things for the worst. You know, one of the good things is that now everybody has, you know, a 1080p camera basically at their disposal, so you can get, you know, even besides that, you have a camera in your pocket most of the fucking time. So if you see some scandalous, fucked up shit, you can record that shit and make the people doing that scandalous shit fucking famous. You know, whether it be police brutality or what have you. Generally, with police brutality, you had to rely on, you know, cameras, you know, like television cameras being there, or dash cam footage being released. Now everybody, again, has a fucking camera, and if you're with the vicinity of some fucked up shit going on, you can videotape those fucking cops and make those fucking cops famous. Will that do anything? You know, that's up for debate. And I have a bunch of books. This is another thing that I noticed that I have a problem is, like, I will see something, you know, people will be like, you should read this book. And I'll be already reading a book and it's like, I need to read this book. Like, I have, what, 5 books out from my local library. I have this, 1984, this is my first time reading through this fucking book, so I'm going to try and finish this fucking book as fast as humanly fucking possible, for me. But then I have Hitler's Monsters, A Supernatural History of the Third Reich. Because I've always been kind of interested in the Thule Society, Nazis, that kind of shit. I also was actually reading Hate, which is a book about George Lincoln Rockwell. I was watching the DVD and I decided I need to watch or read the fucking book. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. This one I heard of on I think it was First We Feast video. And the guy's like talking about all of these different. This book is a great roadmap for all these different kind of burgers, like regional burgers and all this other shit. It was pretty fucking cool. It honestly is really fucking cool. There's my fucking state, New Jersey. I'm gonna flip through this. Probably read just New Jersey and then go from there. And I also have, which I'm not gonna show because it's underneath CDs and shit. It's Pandora's Lab, which is a book by Paul Offit, who I first heard of when I watched a Frontline special about vaccines. And he was one of the speakers, and he was a very compelling speaker. And I found out that he was an author, and I'm like, oh shit, this dude's a fucking author. I can read, shit that he's written about interesting things. And one of the interesting things in the book is about Fritz. I want to say Fritz Haber. I might be wrong. It's some German dude who created the modern process of taking, harvesting hydrogen. I think it was from the atmosphere, and it's a whole fucking thing. The hydrogen was used in the processes that he used were used for chemical weapons in the First World War, and a lot of his breakthroughs were also used in Second World War with Zyklon B and all this other shit, because he was a chemist and it's a whole fucking thing. Which, I'm actually on the vaccine, the anti-vax section of the book, and it's interesting. Infuriating, but interesting. Let's go back to George Orwell's 1984. Because a lot of people on the right have always this is Newspeak, or this is fucking 1984, talking about SJW shit, which is not the fucking case. SJWs are the people who want generally the most objective view of history. And the right-wingers are the ones who want to kind of gloss over shit. Gloss over the bad parts. They never want to admit that America's ever done anything morally questionable. They don't want to talk about what we did in Iran with the Shah and, overthrowing democratically elected governments in fucking South America and other fucking places. And, Donald Trump is the perfect distillation of these three fucking phrases on the back of the fucking book. War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. And seriously, that is Donald Trump to a fucking T. And it goes even beyond these phrases, but the Republican Party used to never really be about one person. But Donald Trump has usurped the fuck out of the Republican Party, He's become what the Republican Party will probably be known for into the future. You know, and that's fucked up. But you know, this is the guy who's like, he's the guy who shit on the Iran nuclear deal, even though it was, and you know, it was the best deal we could possibly have ever gotten out of Iran. And he was like, it was the worst fucking thing, and blah, 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 blah. And he wants to implode the fucking deal if he hasn't already. And, you know, just, he's basically become friendly with dictators and shitty with allies. You know. And it's fucking just... It's insane, and I'm literally 32 fucking pages into this goddamn book, and I didn't go into reading this book of like, you know, let me see how this stacks up to the modern day, you know, let's see, like, I did not fucking do that. It's just shit I read in the fucking, like, legit shit I read in this book made me think of like, oh shit, that's kind of how fucking Donald Trump fucking operates, you know. And it's like, freedom is slavery, you know. Fucking, you know, he has, like, anybody who doesn't agree with him is like, you're just an SJW. He doesn't say SJW. He probably has. I don't fucking know. But like anybody who criticize him as fake news and, you know, you're being lied to, and this, that, at his fucking surrogates will be like, oh, this is a George Soros funded protest, and this is George Soros' fault, and blah, 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 blah. Which is it's the whole, you know, George Soros funded protest thing that has been said by right wingers recently is just a rehash of the, you know, the Jews run everything. In this case, it's just a specific fucking Jew. You know, a specific fucking person, which is very reminiscent of the 2 Minutes Hate. And seriously, like, they say like George Soros is like the most evil fucking person on the planet. You know, he's undermining all these fucking things, and that's what the 2 Minutes Hate is for. You know, that's what that just think about that for a fucking second. It's kind of interesting. It's fucked up, but it's interesting. And what's the funniest thing about the people who, you know, always quote Orwell, it's like, this is an Orwellian, blah, 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 blah. It's like, you do realize he went to fucking, like, this is something I didn't know about Orwell until recently. He specifically went to Spain during the Spanish Civil War to kill fascists. You know, yeah, okay. And then ignorance is strength. That is Donald Trump to a fucking T. Because just think of all of the, just think of how he is enshrined, you know, like, ignorance as like a virtue. You know, don't fucking believe, you know, don't believe the news media, they're fake news, blah, they're lying to you, blah, 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 blah. Believe me, nobody fucking else. You know, there was that fucking, I don't know who the fuck it was, but some cunt on Fox News. But it was like, don't believe the, it might have been, I want to say it was Ann Coulter. It might have been Ann Coulter, I don't fucking know, but she was like, don't believe the child actors of these, because people were fucking, you know, because people listen to the fucking clips of these kids crying, and we're horrified, you know. But, and there was that one dude, I forgot who the fuck it was. Fuck. I remember seeing it. It was a recent last week tonight episode about. So it was a really recent one. And basically, guy brought up, someone who was trying to defend the policy brought up the Japanese internment, and which is not. Let's bring up, you know, a national fucking shame where it was a fake fucking outrage over Japanese citizens let's do that again because it worked out the first fucking time. But let's even do it even broader. Just, you know, not just Japanese fucking people. Let's just people who happen to come from south of the fucking border. It doesn't matter where they come from south of the border, but they're just shitty people. You know, they're trying to kill us. They're trying to do all these evil fucking things. Which is, again, very reminiscent of the shit in 1984 with, you know, the mythical resistance, and, you know, it's like, fuck me. Like, these people are like, they're evil, and they're trying to take over they're trying to take out the party. Blah, 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 blah. The fucking shittiest thing about this whole situation is a dear friend of mine. A dear friend of mine. You know, someone who I've known for 10, 12, 15 fucking years maybe. You know, I've known him for a while. His kind of... he wasn't as openly racist as he was previously, but he's kind of turned it up a little bit, and you know, I'll be honest, I was kind of a coward because I didn't, you know, I confronted him about some stuff, but I didn't confront him about all of this silly, insane shit he fucking said, and you know, that's on me. You know, I need to be a better fucking ally to those people. And weirdly, this is the same friend who kind of doesn't like Warcorpse, but kind of has been espousing the same shit as Warcorpse, and it's like, what? It's interesting. I'll say that much. At the very fucking least, it's fucked up. And but yeah, I fucking... Anywho, I think that's done. I'm sure this rant has been illuminating for some people, boring for other fucking people. Tell me in the comment section below. The fucking people who are like, this was bullshit, I'm not going to fucking listen to. Ta-ta, everybody.